Well, hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of Braylon Lee's virtual tour live right here on YouTube. You saw the thumbnail. You know why you here. Welcome in. Glad to have all you here. Ooh, chat. Oh, hang on. Sorry, y'all. Hang on. Lord, a lot going on these YouTube streets. It's the self-diagnosing for me. That's what it is. It's the self-diagnosing for me. Can we just all agree on something? If you don't have a degree in psychology or sociology, can you just keep your opinions to yourself? Or if you are going to talk about somebody else, talk about it relationally, like, okay, in my life, I feel this, and that, and maybe they might feel this way because that's how they live. Like, let's keep it relative to what we can actually comprehend, because some of y'all try to be Dr. Google or Dr. Self, and some of y'all fall flat on your face. Oh, Lord Jesus. Anyway, welcome in, everybody. Glad to have all of you here. Let me get my camera up. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Glad to have all of you here. Y'all saw the thumbnail. You know why you are here. We got a lot to get to. We got Jonathan Majors on deck tonight. We have, of course, the union as well. The union has gotten personal. We will talk about that. Not to mention new cast of Love is Blind. I'm going to be giving y'all my take on the cast. Not to mention, is the Oprah Winfrey Network changing? Morris Chestnut is in the mix. And by the way, I did see an article from Collider. We will talk about that as well. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Welcome into Braylon Lee's virtual tour live. Higher is waiting. Low is available. But either way, we're about to go on tour. Some of the biggest attractions and destinations in the world of social media and just life in general. So welcome in. Glad to have all you here. All right, so let's get started with Jonathan Majors. And by the way, y'all, I am very appreciative of the viewership. Like I said, if you guys want a Cash App, Super Chat, Super Sticker, Super Thanks, you don't have to, but I just want you to know wherever y'all do give, it's more than enough. So let's get to it and do what we do here. So Jonathan Majors, as you all know, that there's the domestic violence situation that happened with him, and he was supposed to have a trial, but then it got pushed back. According to Deadline.com, and the links are in the description below, just in case you want to follow along. It says here, update with more details. Almost 6 months after Jonathan Majors was arrested in New York City on domestic violence charges, the star of Creed 3 actor's trial has been pushed yet again. A short hearing Wednesday determined that there will be another hearing held on September 15th, in theory to set a new trial date. After numerous delays, today was supposed to be the actual start of the actor's trial on misdemeanor charges stemming from the incident in and around Major Chelsea's apartment, March 25th. Although he was the one who called 911 in the spring, the actor is looking up to 1 year behind bars and found guilty on claims being prosecuted by the Manhattan District Attorney's Alvin Bragg's office. To that end, Assistant District Attorney Kelly Galloway told Judge Rachel S. Pauley this morning that the prosecution were ready for trial. However, defense lawyers stated in court that there were deficiencies in discovery that still need to be addressed. Unlike the last hearing on the matter, August 3rd, when Harlem actress Megan Good was present with Majors in person at the 100 Center Street courtroom, the 33-year-old actor appeared virtually today before Pauley in the Lower Manhattan hearing. The actor said little beyond short responses to the judge on his understanding of matters. Majors lawyers Priya Chaudhry and Seth Zuckerman were in the courtroom for the defense, as was Galloway for the people. Over a video conference link, probably Zoom, Majors looked on impassively and answered questions from Pauley with a string of yes ma'ams in a hearing that lasted under 5 minutes. He wore a coral-colored shirt buttoned at the collar and listened as the judge questioned both the prosecutor and his attorneys inside the fourth floor courtroom. The people are ready for trial and prepared to produce any witnesses, experts, and trial exhibits, Galloway said. Defense lawyer Zuckerman told the judge, "We have written to the prosecutor regarding deficiencies in a so-called certificate of compliance filed by the district attorney's office that says prosecutors have turned over all of the required case evidence to the defense. Zuckerman said that the correspondence on the issue between the defense and prosecutors is continuing. Last month, it was Galloway who told another judge that people are not ready for trial today. So wait, let me read that one more time. Last month, it was Galloway who told another judge that people are not ready for trial. So I guess, Galloway, one of the attorneys, told another judge that the people weren't ready for this trial with Jonathan Majors. Seeing the matter punted again, or moved goalposts, as they say, Galloway in early August stressed the need for more time for the discovery in the matter. So there's more here, but y'all basically get it. I mean, at the end of the day, innocent until proven guilty. Y'all know Megan Good is his girlfriend. And honestly, tell you the truth, y'all remember when Megan Good got announced as Jonathan Majors' girlfriend? It just came out the blue, like, this is interesting, right? And I saw the reports that, Jonathan Majors and Megan Good have been friends for a very long time. So, for them to explore that wasn't anything new, that, Jonathan Majors and Megan Good traveled overseas, that Jonathan met Megan Good's family and all that type of stuff. But I don't, because at the end of the day, right is right, wrong is wrong. You don't put your hands on it in any circumstance. Neither should women put their hands on men. I just think keep hands to yourself, okay? But it's just interesting to me because what they're going to have to be able to do, and of course this is going to sound like, oh my God, thank you, Captain Obvious. But what they're going to have to be able to do is prove not just this incident, that he has a tendency to have violent behavior, but in the discovery process, they're going to have to see if there is a pattern of concurrent behavior. Because if there's a pattern of concurrent behavior, then that will determine if potentially that incident is domestic violence or not. So listen, I'm not a lawyer, okay? That's just my genuine take on this. It says here, while prominently featured in a return to his villain's Kang role just released trailer for the second season of Loki on Disney Plus, premiering October 6th, the William Moore's agency, or WME rep Majors' once rocketing career has dramatically dulled in the months since his arrest and initial arraignment. Dropped suddenly in April by Majors' 360 Entertainment and PR team, the LED Company, as Deadline exclusively reported. Majors has seen ad campaigns and film roles follow in quick succession. He was supposed to have like an ad campaign with the United States Army, but that got dropped. Additionally, even as one arm of Disney's empire maintains, Majors is on board for Loki and the next phase of the Avengers movie, the loud talk of an Oscar nomination for his Magazine Dreams performance has gone silent as the town awaits the outcome of the case. Snapped up by Disney Searchlight Pictures not long after the intense Elijah Barnum scripted and directed bodybuilding drama at this year's Sundance Film Festival, Magazine Dreams has a December 3rd release date. So we shall see what will happen with that. I just say stay tuned for that. Like I said, innocent until proven guilty. And just, man, it is a lot. It is quite a lot. So that being said, let's keep going here. I told y'all that the strike is still ongoing. And I saw this article today from the Hollywood Reporter. I have that article too, but before I get to that article, get to the Hollywood Reporter. And y'all, this has gotten really real. I mean, it's already been real, but I'll just say this leading up to this article. There was an executive that said, and I quote, if they want to be on strike until they lose their homes and then they get their mind right to come back, then so be it. That's where we are in the strike. So it says from the Hollywood Report, record number of Hollywood workers facing evictions, seeking rent assistance amid strikes. Actors, writers, and crew members are being hit both by work stoppage and an end to COVID tenant protections as MPTF. I think that's motion pictures and television. President Bob Betcher says we're talking to people who are living in their cars, in some cases with their families. I'm going to say it again. Bob Betcher of MPTF says we're talking to people who are living in their cars, in some cases with their families. 4 months into the writer's strike and almost 2 months into the actors, the fear of industry workers losing their apartments and homes due to the work stoppage has become an increasingly looming threat. In July, Deadline published a story with quotes from an anonymous executive saying the game plan was to let the strikes drag on until union members were losing their housing, as I just recently told y'all before reading this. And at a recent event, Entertainment Community Fund Chair Annette Benning confirmed that this is indeed happening. David Bach, an actor who has been part of SAG, or the Screen Actors Guild, since 2015 with credits on Curb Your Enthusiasm and Silicon Valley, is among those who received a grant from the SAG-AFTRA Foundation Emergency Assistance Program. For the last year, he's been living in a rent-controlled one-bedroom apartment in Larchmont, California, and that was before the strike, and was able to entirely cover his rent and bills with the money he earned as a working actor. The strike has had a massive impact on my housing situation. I worked one day in May, and since then all work has stopped. Bach told the Hollywood Report, "Hey, May, welcome in, Queen. Glad to have you here." Bach tells the Hollywood Report, "I've almost depleted my entire savings. I haven't been able to pay my rent in the last few months. My building manager and property owners extended me a grace period due to the good social credit or social capital, as we believe here on this channel, I have built up by doing some gardening and landscaping in our building's common area. However, in early August, I received an eviction notice from the building's management company taped to my front door. Admitting it's downright humbling as an adult to come to find you've reached the limit on yourself of your own self-sufficiency. That's time to ask for help." He applied to SAG-AFTRA's Foundation Aid Program and quickly received a check for that month's rents. He's also applying for grants from the ECF and MPTF to help cover past rent that he owes. I know everyone is hurting right now, Bach continues, when it comes to cost cutting and saving. You can lean in almost every other aspect in life, but when it comes to rent, that is a bill that has to be paid in full. We're all struggling with that. We just want to get back to work. However, we need to be sure that getting back to work will mean that we can earn enough responsibility to afford our cost of living. Woo! Man. I want to read this part of that. I'm going to give my take because I think this is very important. It says here, our director of social services in Los Angeles has been with us for 22 years, and she just told me this morning she's never seen this many eviction notices in this short of a time period, in 22 years here. Keith McNutt, executive director for ECF Western Region, adds Motion and Picture Television Fund president and CEO Bob Belcher. People are becoming unhoused. They're being evicted from their apartments, and they're not paying their mortgages, so they will eventually lose their homes as well. We're talking to people who are living in the cars, and in some cases with their families. Woo! So this has gone way too personal. Hey, Nikki News, welcome and glad to have you here, Queen. This has gone way too personal, y'all. And I genuinely believe that SAG-AFTRA is trying to do the right thing, but y'all, people are to be able not to walk through your own door and know that you have a place to fall at the end of the day. That's difficult. And not to mention, you got to think about some of these actors, writers, crew members. Some of them are a family of 4. Some of them are a family of 6. Some of them are a family of 1, and they take care of other people. And so I get of making sure everybody gets paid, but if the studios aren't budging, then how much longer do we continue to allow people to be hurt? And I don't have the answer for it. I really don't. I mean, honestly, you know how YouTube does every 1,000 views, you get paid your RPM, whether it's $10 or $15. Honestly, and I said this in the YouTube survey, so I'll give it to y'all. I said, if you are a new content creator and you're not off the ground yet, I think what they should do, this is just me now, what I think they should do is they should take all of the videos that you did for that month, all the total views for each video of that month, $1 a view, and then divide that by how many videos you made, and then that's your check for the month. Just as a new content creator, so that way you can at least get a check, right? And maybe that might be a system that could work for, for streaming. That for, I would say probably every 500 views, because to get to 1,000 views, especially if you're not a new show, my Lord Jesus, it'll take you a while to get to 1,000. But if you get to at least 500, let's see here, because I'm just curious. And hello, everybody. Welcome in. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We're live on tour. I talked about Jonathan Majors at the top of the show. His trial has been pushed back. So stay tuned to that for sure. Right now, I'm talking about the strike in Hollywood and talking about the fact that there are people being subjected out of their homes. And there are people living in their cars, and some of them with their families, right? So, which is just, sad. Okay, so let's just say that, you get to 500 views, right? That's 2,500. So 5 people have watched that 500 times. That's $2,500. Maybe y'all can do that system. For every 500 views, $5 a view, and that's your check. Maybe that can work. I don't know. But for people to be in their car with their families or even homeless right now, that's unacceptable. Because let me tell you, being in Hollywood is an actual job. It is. Whether you're acting, whether you're writing, whether you're producing, directing, you're a costume designer, you're a makeup artist, you're a production assistant. Production assistant, they just get coffee and things like that. They provide scripts. Whether you're a part of Video Village and watching the footage back, whether you're a talk show host, a game show host, you're a supervisor, producer, whatever your job is, it's extremely important. And, you think about The Incredibles, right? And how when you watch The Incredibles, there's that scene with the boss and that, the little cogs come together and they bash together. In order for Hollywood to tick, everybody has to be a cog and everybody has to be able to come together to make the clock tick. And right now, what this is showing me is that the clock is broken. Not just for scripted, but for unscripted too. And I think that, somehow, the clock has been ticking for a long time. And, you place batteries and somehow it still works. Well, this time the batteries are not going to work. And the clock is broken. Y'all got to fix it. And the clock is not going to be ticking again just because you pay people. The clock is only going to tick again when you fundamentally go through the foundation of what is broken and rebuild a new foundation in partnership with the people that help make you money. So yes, you have that story. Then also too, I don't know if y'all know this, and I didn't even know this. This is from Financial Times, by the way. So, according to the Financial Times, the Hollywood strikes rather, takes a $5 billion bite out of California's economy. I'm going to say that one more time. A $5 billion bite out of California's economy. $5 billion. That's Bill Gates' net worth. So the impact of the Hollywood strikes on California's economy has reached almost $5 billion in 4 months after scriptwriters took to the picket lines, and a figure that's expected to grow after the latest talks between union representatives and studios ended in acrimony. The first joint strike by actors and writers in 60 years has shut down most Hollywood productions, creating a knock-on effect for caterers, dry cleaners, drivers, rental companies, and other small enterprises that support the industry, said Kevin Clouden, chief global strategist at the Mikan Institute, who conducted the research. All these different people who provide support services that make the productions happen, they are getting nailed, said Clouden, who's been an advisor to the industry and California governors. So with the writer's strike now within its 124th day, the toll on the California economy eclipsed $2.1 billion from the last big Hollywood industrial action, 2007-2008, when members of the Writers Guild of America walked out for 100 days. So when you really think about this, $5 billion, that means a lot of people's lights ain't on. That means a lot of people don't have food in their fridge. Like I said, we already talked about some people are in their cars, live with families. Not to mention too, you gotta think about this. Some people have kids, so imagine if a kid needs braces where they can't get the braces now. Imagine they want to go on that trip, they can't go on it now. Imagine if a pipe busts in the house and it floods, they can't fix it now. So $5 billion not being into the economy is affecting everybody. Ooh, child. Lord help. So, praying for Hollywood. I hope they get right, because eventually I want to get in the door, and I want to be in the door when it's the right time to be in the door, because I believe I deserve to be respected. Y'all deserve to be respected, and everybody deserves to be respected. So, Love is Blind is coming out with a whole new cast. The exclusive came from Variety.com, and I have the actual bios of the contestants from Todoom.com on Netflix. So yes, indeed, I'm going to give y'all each person. I can't do the picture-in-picture thing on my phone and my laptop, y'all. It is what it is. But trust me, I'm trying to make some things happen so I can get more things. You understand? But yes, indeed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Shout out to Nikki News and May for being here. Everybody being here. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. As I get the Love is Blind cast here. Love is Blind is quite an interesting show. So for those of you who don't know, Love is Blind, basically, I think it's 8 men, 8 women. They go into this experience where they're in these pods. And in these pods, they really get to know the person for the person. So they don't get to see them until they say yes, and then they do get to see the other side. They do get to see that person. So it says here, at the end of the day, let's see. On September 25th, the social experiment dividing group chats since 2020 returns for season 5, not season 10, season 5, as a new cast embarks on a heart-pounding journey of emotional growth and self-discovery. Once again, the host that should not be hosted, Naked Vanessa Lachey, will guide a fresh new crop of eligible men and women into the pods and out of dating purgatory as they test the limits and potential of a purely emotional connection. This time, they are doing it in the heart of Texas. What is going on with Texas, y'all? Like, Ready to Love is in Texas now. Love is Blind is casting from Texas. So, my Lord Jesus. So, I'm gonna give y'all the women, and then I'm gonna give y'all the men. So, Aaliyah is 29. She's a ICU travel nurse, and she is a black woman. It says Aaliyah flies all around the country for work, but when it comes to love, she's always missing her connection. She's been living the single life for more than a year and keeps meeting men who aren't truly ready to commit or lack honesty, loyalty, and consistency. Aaliyah's dream guy is an intellectual foodie who can feed her stomach and her mind. She can stop overthinking the pure and gentle relationship she can be seeking around the corner just through a glowing blue wall. You know what? Shout out to nurses and everybody in the medical field, because y'all are the MVPs. Do you hear me? I don't know how y'all have done it since 2020, and I have gained a deeper found appreciation for nurses and everybody in the medical field, because you're dealing with people at the most vulnerable point in their life, where the thing you do can let them live or let them pass away. So shout out to all of you. Estefana is 30 years old. She's a teacher dancer. I think she looks Latina. I think she's Latina. Estefana's looking for a guy who can 1-2 step up to the plate as a high school teacher who also teaches dance in her free time. She's ready to meet a man who matches her hard work and energy, but Estefana admits that she's been too picky in the past. She's not looking for any specific type in the pods, is willing to let the experiment work its magic. However, she has no patience for men who are controlling or dirty. So hygienic, caring, and faithful men to the front. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, listen, I think there's a difference between being too picky and caring about your standards, right? I mean, we all have requirements, we all have standards, and we all have preferences. It's just how you execute those, right? Chandra is 32 years old, a flight attendant, and she is a black woman. Chandra is a flight attendant who is used to catching flights. These days, she is intent on catching feelings. She's looking for a guy who can give her that spark, while she can be overly critical, especially of guys who aren't like her dad. Lord Jesus, not daddy issues. Not daddy issues. Lord help. Okay. Sandra is seeking a connection beyond looks and based on personality, but as a natural problem solver, she needs her forever partner to take accountability for their actions. As for guys who can't admit when they're wrong, just won't cut it. I think she will be interesting. Hey, Phyllis, welcome in. Okay, you know what? Feel better, Queen. Look, I have often said this at the end of the day. I want the people in my life to be healthy and happy and whole. So do what you need to do and get your rest. I am going to be here. You see, I'm here with 3 people right now. I'm doing this because I genuinely love doing this. I am consistent with it. And I'm also not a one-trick pony. Y'all know who the one-trick ponies are on YouTube. I'll just leave that there. Anyway, glad to have you here, Phyllis, and hopefully you'll feel better, Queen. Back to Sandra. I feel that at the end of the day, it's good that you do not want guys that can't admit when they're wrong, but you also have to admit that if you're wrong too, or you want to take accountability for that. So, Maris, she looks Filipino. 30 years old, HR specialist. Morris has only ever been in one serious relationship, and that ended unexpectedly after 6 years. Since then, she's been spending the past 2 years searching for a guy who can deal with her strong will and won't make a fuss about getting her hair everywhere. Oh my, okay. First and foremost, Morris is a family-oriented person who would love to bring her future husband to crawfish broils. Down south is crawfish, up north is lobster crab. And to allow New Year celebrations with her family. If he ever gets hungry, one of Morris' best qualities is remembering to bring food home, even if you didn't ask. See, that's a keeper. If you know somebody's order, or if you do acts of love that are genuine, that's a keeper. That's a keeper. Paige is 32 years old. She's a white woman. 32 years old, stylist. I'm telling y'all the races because y'all can't see. Unless you look into my glasses. But anyway, I'm looking at the description. Paige said, this is the about Paige. Being too nice to the wrong people has led Paige astray in her past relationships, but she is done letting people take advantage. Kindness is key as one of her ultimate turnoffs to people who are mean to waiters or staff while out to dinner. Shout out to her for caring about other people. She ultimately wants to find somebody who loves the way she loves, which means leading with a bigger heart, having genuine respect, and making a true commitment to each other. She wants to find somebody who loves the way she loves. Well, I'll say this, right? I think at the end of the day, it's nice to get that, but do you really need that, right? Because if I have a person who loves me the way I love, at the end of the day, I don't know, maybe this is just me, right? I feel like opposites attract for a reason. And so when she says that she wants somebody who loves the way she loves, big heart, genuine spread, to have a true commitment to each other, what are the parameters of having a big heart? You may have a big heart for people, they may have a big heart for themselves. Having genuine respect, there's levels to that. Making a true commitment to each other. Well, what's the commitment? Is it the commitment of I genuinely love you as a person? Is it the commitment of how we're going to handle bills? So I think for her, she needs to understand that it's great to find somebody that, it's great to find somebody that, it's great that she wants to find somebody who wants to love her the way that she loves, but she also got to understand that there are different levels to that. She's got to understand the parameters of that. But Paige is interesting. Renee, shout out to Renee, 32 years old, a veterinarian. Renee feels that she's been single forever. She's extremely focused on her career. In the 5 years since her last relationship ended, now she's ready to step into a new chapter, straight into the arms of a very manly guy, beard preferred. See, this is my beard, right? My beard is not really that big of a beard. Like, it's not a Duck Dynasty beard. You know what I mean? But interesting. Who could get down with her homebody lifestyle and her mirage of pets. But Renee knows that she will have to fight her tendency of being overly picky to start a family with a live-in hubby. Oh, so she wants her hubby to stay at home. Interesting. That is, that she can keep track of her dates, and she has a bad habit of forgetting people's names. We're going to just leave her right where she is. I think the live-in hubby is going to be interesting, especially if you have somebody who wants to do their own thing. So what I will do now is kind of take a break on, Love is Blind for now. And then I'll read some more. But I wanted to get to this, though, because I saw this, and this came out today, about the Oprah Winfrey Network. This came out today, and I thought this was quite interesting. Quite interesting. So it says here, Oprah Winfrey Network, or OWN, unveils rebuilding Black Wall Street trailer with Morris Chestnut as host. Sets premiere date exclusively. This exclusively comes from Variety. So this will premiere September 29th. September 29th. So it says the series will follow Morris Chestnut and build teams led by designers John Pierre and Mary Tajon Joe Penn, Two Steps Home, as they take viewers through Greenwood's rich history and the personal journeys of those featured, many of whom are the descendants of original Black Wall Street residents. Oh, wow, over the course of 6 episodes. As new businesses and projects progress, viewers will get to experience the physical and emotional challenges that come with the large-scale construction and celebrating the promise of Greenwood's future. On May 31st, 1921, Tulsa's Greenwood District, also referred as Black Wall Street, a community where Black leaders, entrepreneurs, and homeowners thrived, was destroyed by mobs in what has been called the single most horrific incident of racial terrorism since slavery. An estimated 300 people were ill, more than 1,200 homes destroyed, and at least 60 businesses and community buildings were burned to the ground. Whew, Lord Jesus, this season's feature stories includes Tulsa Race Massacre descendant Martika Collins as she hopes to create North Tulsa's only natural birthing center and return the tradition of midwifery to the Greenwood district. Designers John Pierre and Mary dive in to help the family house, which follows Tulsa Massacre descendant Rachel Walker, preserves the home passed down to her through generations with the help of nonprofit 1256 movement. The history of home ownership in Tulsa is explored as the design team renovates her kitchen. The transition home, which follows Tulsa's complex history, lays the groundwork for the massacre descendant Da Maria Monday to build a haven for recently incarcerated women reintegrating back into society. With the design team adds special touches to the home. The farm, which follows Rodney and Sheila Clark's family farm, as it gets a major upgrade from guest expert Ron Finley, while John Pierre and Mary put their farmer skills to work as they help the Clark family on their mission to change the food desert of North Tulsa. The mansion, which follows special guest Ananda Lewis, helps John Pierre and Mary upgrade the historic Skyline Mansion, which serves as a studio for a local rap group, Fire in Little Africa. I never heard of them before. Educators take steps to restore Black history studies in Tulsa, and the restaurant, which follows former NBA star Kevin Thompson, opened Fixin's Soul Kitchen in Tulsa. And 3 survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre attend, along with the design team. Tech Alexander offer his inventions to community leaders. You know what? I gotta tell you something. I think that's wonderful. I think it is wonderful that the Oprah Winfrey Network is taking time out to showcase our history, right? I mean, first of all those different places, from the mansion to the farm to, bringing back midwifing to Tulsa. I think that's wonderful. So I'm about to play hang on, y'all. Let me see if I can turn my fan off real quick. I have my fan on so I won't overheat. Let me see if I can play this. Let me see if I can play this for y'all. I don't know if it'll be loud enough, but we'll see. Give me a moment. Okay, hang on. All right, let me get this up. And by the way, I mean, I know they could have got anybody to host this thing, but shout out to Morris Chestnut for wanting to step up and, showcase Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And, who knows, right? Who knows that maybe, Black Wall Street could be a new series on OWN. And I will give my take on why I think OWN is doing this, because they've been doing this recently with OWN Spotlight, Essence Magazine. They did that with that. So y'all give me a moment as I get the trailer up here. Okay, let's see. Okay, hang on, y'all. Y'all ready? Here we go. Oh, wait, stop. Come on, laptop. Work with me. I guess.
Welcome to Tulsa, Oklahoma. This is the historic Greenwood District, better known as Black Wall Street. I feel pain! A thriving African-American community once spanning 40 square blocks. Greenwood was created because we were excluded. Until the massacre of 1921.
Greenwood was burned to the ground, and over 300 people were murdered.
1,256 homes burned down.
This history is recent enough that there are still 3 people who live through it.
The spirit of Black Wall Street survived.
And the story of Greenwood is finally being told.
My family was here for the 1921 race massacre.
Oh, wow.
I had a house on Lansing Street.
Mm.
We've been waiting.
It's just the pressure. We're just trying to do good. We're trying to do good. 100 years later, descendants of that community are building a new legacy.
We don't have providers of color in Tulsa. I'm building a space. Doing this by myself has been very challenging.
And we're here to help.
How are you?
What you doing? Today is the day.
Teamwork.
Our team of designers, builders, and experts are seeking out Black Wall Street descendants,
This is where my grandfather's business was.
entrepreneurs, and community leaders.
There's more to Black history than slavery and the civil rights movement.
Right. To learn about their goals for restoring their community
I want to be part of the solution.
to help make a difference. We're here today to make new memories and rebuild Black Wall Street one brick at a time.
Mm. This is awesome. I'm gonna drop the trailer in the chat so y'all can watch it. It's great.
This looks really good.
I have no idea how we're going to get all of this done.
Hold on, man. This is not the white bridge.
Oh my God. I'm proud to be celebrating the opening of a Black-owned restaurant in the middle of
Grandma, I know you're proud. I'm your host, Mortez, and together we are rebuilding Black Wall Street.
That's amazing. So that's coming out Friday. That's coming out Friday, September 29th at 9/8 Central, only on OWN. So you know what? Here's the thing, right? I think personally, hang on, y'all. Let me take these glasses off, child. I think personally that Rebuilding Black Wall Street is a great series. Shout out to Morris Chestnut for being a part of this, and shout out to the Oprah Winfrey Network for doing it. I'm looking forward to it. I will definitely be reviewing that series however I can find it. And, you know, what do I think about this in general, right? Because as we know, Love and Marriage Huntsville. Hey, Linda Gamble. Hey, PN2 Ross. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. I'm talking about the new limited series from the Oprah Winfrey Network called Rebuilding Black Wall Street, hosted by the Morris Chestnut. It's coming out Friday, September 29th at 9/8 Central, only on OWN. And I'm going to tell y'all, I think that OWN has been slowly beginning to realize that they need to change. Because they did an OWN spotlight on Essence Magazine. And now they're doing a OWN spotlight on Rebuilding Black Wall Street. Even though this is a limited 6-episode series, I think honestly, based on the content that is happy early birthday. See, look, Owen is giving you a gift on your birthday. Look at that. Look at that right there. I think based on what will happen with Rebuilding Black Wall Street, maybe Rebuilding Black Wall Street could be a new series on OWN, following, you know, some of these new places that are going to be built up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I think that this is a good move and direction for the Oprah Winfrey Network because, let's be real, people are getting tired of Love and Marriage Huntsville. They're absolutely getting tired of that show. And I think they're getting tired of the Love and Marriage franchise altogether. And, you know, like I said before, I think people are looking for quality, not quantity anymore. And I think the fact that this is going to air, and hopefully too, because, you know, the Oprah Winfrey Network does not have a streaming service, right? They have the Watch OWN app, but they don't have a streaming service. I think there is a tab for OWN in Max, but what I'm hoping for is this: that they will actually put this on the actually on Max as a series. Like, yes, it's from OWN, but you can also watch it on Max. So shout out to Morris Chestnut, and let me give credit to the people that will be a part of this, the production team, because y'all know over here we love to give credit where credit is due. This series is a joint effort between Warner Bros. Discovery, Group M Motion Entertainment, and Domino's, a participant in Group M Diverse Voices Accelerator, a positive impact initiative that supports creators, writers, producers, and directors from traditionally underrepresented groups in entertainment. Rebuilding Black Wall Street is produced by Sunwise Media with Rod Caro Handy and Cara Duncan, a Tulsa race massacre descendant, serving as executive producers. And then Morris Chestnut also serves as the executive producer through his MC8 Productions, as well as Greenwood Creative Studios. Y'all go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. See, that's Black excellence. That is quality. That is top tier that we need to see. And honestly, I hope that we all watch that. I really do, because y'all, and you know what, to be honest with y'all, I'm gonna be very real. I feel like YouTube needs a shift. I really do. Because I think some of these people that cover Love and Marriage Huntsville, I'm gonna be real with you. I think that some of us who cover Love and Marriage Huntsville need to be tested to see if we're one-trick ponies or not. I really do. Because if Love and Marriage Huntsville goes away, what you gonna do with your channel if that's all you cover? Just saying, that's not everybody. But what are you going to do if that show goes away? So I think that for the fact that, you know, the Oprah Winfrey Network is doing this and they are showcasing our history uncut, I think it's wonderful. I think it is absolutely wonderful. So here's the thing. You cannot find the trailer on OWN's YouTube channel. The trailer, you can find it on variety.com. And so yeah, I just and listen, and that's not to say that if you cover Love and Marriage Huntsville that you're a one-trick pony. I'm not saying that at all. But YouTube is for the power of creativity, discovery, and imagination. And I think that this show honestly has gotten us too bogged down a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if all of your content is just Love and Marriage Huntsville, it shows you a little bit of one-trick pony. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And so I think we need to be tested to see if we can do more. And that's why I have been trying to showcase, you know, a little bit more. Like I said at the top of the show, I talked about Jonathan Majors. I talked about the strike. I started to talk about Love is Blind, but I want to take a break for a little bit to talk about this show, Rebuilding Black Wall Street. And you probably are not going to really see it really anywhere else on YouTube. And you know what? I think, honestly, tomorrow I'll make a video on Rebuilding Black Wall Street. I really will. And, you know, put that video on my channel so that way, you know, people can know about it. Because I think it's important that we support each other, right? And I know that the Oprah Winfrey Network has been, I know that the Oprah Winfrey Network and the owners have been just tussling, you know, like a game of tug of war. And it's just, you know, it's like the network is like, come on. The fans are like, no, come on. So it's a huge game of tug of war. And I think the fact that the Oprah Winfrey Network is showcasing Black Wall Street and the descendants of Black Wall Street, and then on top of that, to bring experts down, like, I genuinely cannot wait for this. And not to mention, Morris Chestnut has a production company. Hello. Hell to the low. Morris Chestnut has a production company. Hello. So, you know what? I want OWN to keep going with these OWN spotlights. Because let me tell you something. I think that the OWN spotlights, to be honest with you, I think the OWN spotlights are a way to test the viewers to see if we want new content. I really do. Because think about with Essence, and talk about the 50 years of Essence. Now, y'all know that Hulu broadcasted the Essence Festival Culture onto Hulu, right? Well, who's to say that maybe, because you know that all these, scripted dramas about, real life events have been big. Who's to say that maybe the scripted story of Essence doesn't come as a series on OWN, or that OWN and Essence doesn't do a content partnership, or that, Black Wall Street doesn't, do more shows with OWN. So I think that the OWN spotlight really and truly will be a testing ground to see if we want new content. But yeah, I wanted to give that time today for sure, because I think it's extremely, extremely, extremely important. So, with that being said, speaking of reality TV, since we're talking about it, PNT Ross said, I'm going to Planet Church of Tulsa in the spring to see that area. This will bring a lot of knowledge about the area. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? We need more content like that. And here's the thing. I need networks to give a damn about being creative again. Don't worry about the sycophant fans that are the consumers of all of your networks. Worry about what brings you your audience. Throw spaghetti to the wall and see what sticks again. Unlock the little kid inside you, like, oh, what if we do this and what if we do that? Because y'all, creativity, it's at war right now, and we need more shows like Rebuilding Black Wall Street. So it's time for a pivot, and it's time for quality TV that matters and has worth. See? So like I said, I know probably no other YouTube channels probably gonna cover Rebuilding Black Wall Street, but you heard it here first about this new show, and I will be doing a video on that tomorrow probably. So speaking of reality TV, apparently Collider did an article on Bravo's Summer House, saying Bravo's Summer House franchise is a refreshing option for millennials who don't aspire to be Real Housewives. Could the Real Housewives franchise be as antiquated as the idea of traditional marriage vows? So it says Bravo introduced the Summer House franchise. Oh, no problem. That's what I do. That's what I do. Listen, I cover media, culture, social capital, and I'm a big believer in being original in my content. And listen, even though there are not a lot of people here right now, guess what? It's all good, because at the end of the day, I know that what I'm doing is going to matter to somebody. I know it is. Because here's the thing. I want to say this to all of you who are trying to pursue a dream, or who are trying to pursue even getting to your peace. Getting to your success in whatever area of your life that you want success in, if it's not uncomfortable, that means it's not happening. Because right now, as a content creator, I'll put it like this, in a traditional sense, if you have 2 viewers, you should just log off. But that's not correct, right? Because those 2 people are believing enough in you to take time out to come to your channel. Your content may not be everybody else's content, but that's okay. It's not supposed to be. Stand in the gap of what everyone else cannot do and do what you can do. And yes, the dramas or the channels rather on YouTube, some of them are known for drama, mess, and toxicity. Let them be that. Let them be that. Because at the end of the day, I promise you, the thing about producing that content, eventually that content will backfire on them. It will. So if you give good and you produce good, usually good channels, usually good platforms, usually good people, it takes a while for people to really get that this is the real deal. But here's the best thing about a slow burn. Eventually, the flames rise so high that no one can not be able to see it. So keep burning bright, keep doing what you're supposed to do, and be your damn self. Okay? So anyway, with that being said, it says here Bravo introduced the Summer House franchise in 2017, a little over a decade after the network's lifeblood series Real Housewives debuted in 2006. In true Bravo fashion, both franchises celebrate an extravagant lifestyle paired along with a beautiful cast of big personalities that will undoubtedly clash against one another. The Summer House franchise originated in Montauk. Well, that's what I'm reading now. Nikki News it's a series that originated in Montauk, New Jersey, a polar opposite to the Real Housewives startup in Orange County, California. But perhaps even more important than the coastal divide is the concept of happily ever after, which has changed tremendously. Oh, no problem, Nikki News. You know I got you. Which has changed tremendously in the generations that separate the Summer House cast in New York from the Real Housewives of Orange County cast. So I'm going to get to the part here. It says here the new series focuses on the lifestyle of hot, attractive singles instead of married couples. The Summer House franchise was introduced as an opportunity to connect to a slightly younger audience, throwing hot singles. Let me see here. Your channel is refreshing. I enjoy it. It's clear you're on a different path than other content creators. Blessings to you. Thank you, PNC Ross. I appreciate you. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's all good because the people that need to find you will find you. It never fails. It never fails. Keep doing what you're supposed to do. And let me just say this too. If you are about Love and Marriage Huntsville and you're about being on OWN, also cover what else is happening on OWN. Okay? Because that show is on OWN. I bet you all the channels, I'll say this, not all the channels. Some of the growner channels that have sense and brain cells that could come together to form a brain will cover it. But, younger channels with, a younger audience, if you're 25, 28, somewhere around there, they're not going to give a care about rebuilding Black Wall Street because it's not drama. It's not toxic. And it's not anything that's going to bring them viewership because their channel is deadlocked in being negative. So those subscribers subscribe to negativity, which comes from them. So just a little psychology for y'all. But anyway, the Summer House franchise was introduced as an opportunity to connect with a slightly younger audience, throwing hot singles into a vacation home for a certain period of time, reminiscent of MTV's original reality series, The Real World. Every season, sexy singles succumb to the production-induced temptation to rendezvous with a housemate, creating rivalries and allowing jealousy to rear its ugly but welcomed head. This series continues to grow in popularity, with the most recent season, Summer House Martha's Vineyard, trending when Brianna Fleming ended up feuding with housemates when her dog, whom she deems her emotional support animal, relieved himself in the gay room near the pool table. I remember that this was a huge topic on the streets of YouTube. The recent Summer House features trivial arguments juxtaposed with the promise of scandalous romance, with temporary rivalries and allies as the formula of reality gold. So it says here, this is interesting. It says here, statistics show millennials and Gen Zers do not prioritize marriage the way their grandparents or parents did. According to a social study performed at Johns Hopkins, the marriage rate has dropped by nearly 60% over the last 50 years. Much of that change focused on the last 2 decades. Some factors include religion being less of a factor, the dissolution of traditional gender roles, women earning more in the workplace, and social media influence. But the bottom line is that marriage is no longer viewed as a rite of passage to a happy and fulfilled life. The Summer House franchise was built upon a very different dynamic. Nine friends connect based on their affluent yet carefree lifestyle, suggests subtly that the ideal lifestyle has changed dramatically from the days of hitching one's wagon to a wealthy man to establish security, and instead celebrates living life to the fullest by hanging with posh friends and pouring well into one's 30s. The storyline screams 30 is the new 20, with castmates focusing on living life out loud, focusing on exploring every aspect of self-actualization while enjoying passionate romances without the heaviness of marriage or the impending threat of divorce. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So, what do I think about this? I think that is very true. I think that more reality TV shows are looking for quality, not quantity, right? I think people are more intelligent than we give them credit for. I think people want to explore storylines, actual storylines. I think people want to relate to their content more. And I think people just really want to see something real. Even if it's broken, as long as it's still real, we can relate to it. I think that's what people are looking for. No, it's all good, Nikki News. Love you. Have a good night. Hopefully your son will do well. Hey, there's a website called mathway.com. Now, I'm not telling you go to mathway.com, but if you go to mathway.com, you can type in the equations and get the answers for you. Check. You didn't hear it from me. Did not hear it from me. Have a good night, Nikki News. Love you. We'll talk soon. But yeah, I think people are looking for quality instead of quantity. I really, really do. Summer House started slow and steady, but has continued to build momentum. This season, Summer House Martha's Vineyard garnered some of the highest ratings and social media attention that the series has experienced, with the historical reputation of being a playground for African Americans with old money. Wait a minute, what? Wait a minute. Are you serious? Wait, I thought Martha's Vineyard was for white people. What the heck? Okay. I'm gonna read that one more time. This is the Glider article. I'll put it in the chat for y'all. But it literally says here, with a historical reputation of being a playground for African Americans with old money. That's what it literally says here. Because whenever I hear Martha's Vineyard, I think I think Howard Stern and Bill O'Reilly and all these old white people with money. I really do. That's interesting. Hang on, let me type in Martha's Vineyard African American. Let me just MAR Martha's Vineyard African American. I guess we all might learn something new today. Yes, it does have a black cast. Yes, it does. We're all about to find out something today. Because I never knew that. I never knew that. Hello to the 5 people that are here. Welcome in, like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're just talking about Jonathan Majors. His trial day has been pushed back. The strike, as well, people living in their cars with families. And then also, too, read some of the people that are going to be on the new season of Love is Blind on Netflix. I know that we haven't covered it over here, but I know a lot of people on YouTube do cover Love is Blind. So I want to make sure that, we got in the conversation with that. Then we talked about a new show coming September 29th, 9/8 Central on OWN called Rebuilding Black Wall Street, hosted by Morris Chestnut. And Morris Chestnut has a production company, so I'll be finding out all the information on that and seeing if I can get in the door of Morris Chestnut's production company, see if we can produce some. And now we're talking about Martha's Vineyard, and I just found out that, and y'all, this is, you learn something new every day. They say, and I quote, that with the historical reputation that Martha's Vineyard has a historical reputation of being a playground for African Americans with old money. Did not know that. So I'm going to read this Diversity Explained, Martha's Vineyard, a history of a black haven. I guess I'm about to be Black Titanic for a minute. By the way, shout out to Black Titanic, one of the best content creators on YouTube. We love some Black Titanic over here. Yes, we do. So it says here that this time last year, I posted a video of my daughter dancing in the streets of New York City when she was just a year old. The video received over 550,000 views and 15,000 likes. I posted it because I thought it perfectly visualized the authentic sense of belonging. Today, I'm writing from Martha's Vineyard, a place where I've always felt the same sense of belonging. Martha's Vineyard has always been a summer haven for the black community for over a century. There are very few places in the country where black families vacation with each other and where we weren't the minority. In Oak Bluffs, on the northern tip, on the northern tip of the island, black families from around the country gather every summer to vacation, socialize, and spend quality time with each other. It's common to see multiple generations of black families at Woods Hole, hanging out at Inkwell Beach, or eating at Nancy's. The island has become a symbol of black wealth given its long history of welcoming communities of color who vacation here. Martha's Vineyard is now more popularly known as the summer home to the Obamas and other black luminaries like Spike Lee and Oprah, in a country that is particularly defined by its history of systemic racism and economic inequality. Martha's Vineyard offers a different picture of what black life can be in America. First black people who came to the island were enslaved, of course, servants, and the mid-1800s, whalers. The Northeast was a prominent center of whale oil trade at the time. As the economy shifted more toward efficient forms of energy, Martha's Vineyard was reborn as a vacation destination. And since Massachusetts was one of the first states to abolish slavery, the state served as one of the safer places for free black folks to find their fortunes in a rapidly changing society. Methodist churches created open-air tents for worship on the island, and several entrepreneurial black families set up shop in businesses that catered especially to black visitors. One of them, Sharir Cottage, even became a hotspot for prominent figures associated with the Harlem Renaissance, and had been operated and owned by the same family for over a century. Little by little, permanent community of black islanders developed in the continuity of places like Sharir Cottage helped attract more people of color to the island who knew that they would be treated well at black-owned institutions. Wow. After World War II, with the black population increasing and acquiring more wealth, certain families moved to the island to purchase cottages and vacation homes, many of which are still owned by their families' descendants today. Throughout much of the 20th century, Martha's Vineyard was also home to white communities. Life remained fairly segregated, but the black community was numerous enough that all sorts of social traditions and gatherings were cemented. One of the most famous is Inkwell Beach, or originally so called pejoratively because the higher proportion of black people that frequented. Another is the dinner and cocktail party circuit, hosted by and for black families. According to one prominent islander, Henry Louis Gates Jr. That's the guy that does the Find Out Who You Are on PBS. Oh my God, I've always wanted to do that show. Always. Just see if there's anybody else. That's just little. Okay. Anyway, you can date families on the island by whether or not they've heard of 5 to 7s. The early drinking parties that remained a staple ritual of the Vineyard black community well into the 1980s. And the circuit still goes on strong today. Nowadays, things are more integrated, but these spaces and traditions remain strongly associated with the history of the Vineyard as a haven for black families. It has always been important to me to see and understand that side of black life in America. The history of black wealth in this country is fraught with racism, violence, and disenfranchisement, but the vineyard offers a different picture, one of affluence, family, community, and long-standing traditions. The communities of color who vacation here get more and more diverse every year, but the promise of a safe refuge never goes away. I'm almost done, y'all, with this story. This is actually a really fascinating story. I'll drop this story in the chat as well. The vineyard has also shown me what it means to put down roots on our own terms when the conditions of the economic and social mobility allow for it. Martha's Vineyards is a reminder to me and to all Black people that opportunity, joy, togetherness, and yes, wealth are just as much a part of our national story. My own story of Martha's Vineyard began when my parents built a home in Oak Bluffs when I was a toddler. This is the person that wrote the article story here. It was the first time in my life that I had another Black family as neighbors. We grew up coming to Oak Bluffs every summer, mostly during the month of August. I recall spending most of my time playing basketball at the public courts off of Circuit Avenue, wondering where my parents were, and almost invariably find them down the street at Inkwell, learning how to play golf on Farm Neck with my dad, seeing my parents socialize with friends in ways I've never seen before, mostly with joy, excitement, and a lot of laughter. I have written about the power of culture coding before, and I've since come to realize how authentically my parents were able to be themselves there. Wow. It's also where I met then President Clinton. I learned early on that the Kennedys had a place here for decades. And I'm slowly but surely applying my next presidential run with the Obamas. All tips are appreciated. I ain't mad at you. It was informative to be able to associate this safe place with such prestigious political history as well. Finally, the vineyard is where I asked my wife Julianne to marry me on July 3rd, 2018. Oh, that's so. No, I'm not gonna cry with y'all. I'm not gonna do it. As I sit here today, drinking my coffee and watching my two daughters on our family deck, I'm reminded of the importance of belonging. I feel like I belong here. I feel like I can be my most authentic self here. I see others that look like me. My daughters see representation and themselves and other kids. To some degree, I've always been envious of people who get this experience all the time in their everyday lives. But for now, these 2 weeks, every summer, August, is where you can find me in the best form of myself, Porter Broswell. What a wonderful, wonderful story. I'm going to drop that in the chat for all of you. I did not mean to be Black Titanic today, but I guess that was the assignment that I had to take. And you know what? I appreciate history, right? I appreciate history because we need to be able to know what truly does matter, what we don't know. There's always something that we do not know in this thing called life. So yeah, I'm going to drop that link in the chat for y'all if y'all want to read that story. Now we'll also drop the summer house story as well. That was fascinating. And it really does go to show you we really are ignorant to our own history. We really are. And I think a lot of times, thank you so much for being true, Ross. And I think at the end of the day, I think some of us are ignorant to history because we want to be. And I think others of us are ignorant to history because we generally do not know. I think there is two sides of the spectrum there with that. And so it goes to show that with Martha's Vineyard being a haven for Black families and rebuilding Wall Street on the Oprah Winfrey Network, maybe things are changing in reality TV, maybe. Am I wrong about that? Who knows? But from what it seems like, that is the way it is looking. So I'm so glad I was able, and literally I found that story today literally at the last minute as I was just getting ready for tonight's show with all of you. But yeah, so as we continue on this virtual tour, I was reading some of the cast of Love is Blind. I think I left off at. Let's see, I think I left off at. I think I left off at. No, I was about to go with Lydia. Okay, so we're going back to the Love is Blind cast. Okay, so go and read a couple more here. Lydia, 32 years old. She's a geologist. She looks Latina to me, or Afro Latina. She says, as a geologist, the only rock that Lydia isn't familiar with is the one that she wants on her finger. After turning 30, Lydia is now emotionally mature enough to be married and wants to find a tall, dark, and handsome guy with a big personality who feels the same way. But fair warning, she has zero patience for men who can't communicate. As the key to her heart is transparency and emotional maturity, Lydia hopes to take a step closer to her happily ever after by locking down forever kind of love, not based on looks, but commitment to overcome any obstacle together. I think Lydia will do fine. I think she, knows what she wants, and shout out to her for that. I think it's very important to have transparency and emotional maturity. But I think beyond emotional maturity is emotional vulnerability, because you can be emotionally mature, but if you're not vulnerable, your emotions are going to fall flat. Now this young lady here, Lord Jesus, if I had myself together, I knew she was going to be a part of the cast. I wouldn't have been on, but also it's in Houston, so I'm not in Houston, I'm in Ohio. But anyway, Erica, 27, marketing manager. She is a black woman. 3 years of dating app disappointments have pushed Erica to take the leap of faith and entering the pods. No matter what unfolds, she is unwilling to lower her admittedly high standards. At least she admittedly is saying they are high standards. Simply put, she's a catch who is not going to settle. Erica wants a marriage as strong as her parents so she can experience life's highs and lows with a partner and a best friend, but she has a specific guy in mind, one who is ideally funny, outgoing, and obsessed with her. Cocky guys who want to talk about themselves should not even bother. Here's the thing, right? I would like a marriage like my parents, but also too, I know that the execution is probably not going to be like my parents, because my parents' marriage is their marriage. They went through the work of being two individuals to get to where they are, and my journey has to be different than my parents. So I hope Erica does well, but she's going to have to recognize that her journey is going to be a little bit different. As we roll on here, Miriam, I'm reviewing the new cast of Love is Blind here. Let's see here. Miriam, 32, scientist, and she's a black scientist. Hey, man. Love to see science, technology, engineering, and math in the black culture for sure. Judge a book by its cover. You might miss all that Miriam has to offer. She's a scientist with an impressive career in the pharmaceutical industry. She usually seeks an emotional connection before developing much stronger feelings. So Love is Blind is Miriam's ideal way of meeting her future soulmate, but not just any guy will do, as she is looking for a sincere, driven, and successful person who will put in a genuine effort. While Miriam doesn't really have a type, she hopes that the possibilities has some older and tall guys. I think that's, everyone has their preference. I think it's just the way you display that preference through your attitude and how you carry yourself. Unlike Janelle from Ready to Love. Right, the foundation can be the same, but the journey has to be different. There it is. There it is. Amen to that. Stacy, 34 years old, director of operations. She is a white woman. We're doing the big thing. Show right. By the way, when I say white woman, black woman, I'm giving y'all that because y'all can't see them. I can't do the frame by frame on my phone because I'm doing StreamYard from my phone. Stacy, 34, director of operations, a white woman. Stacy has only been single for less than a year. Oh, child, you. Okay, I mean, she is 34, so, by that age, allegedly, that's when society said you should get married, but whatever. Stacy has only been single for less than a year, but she's ready to push herself to open up and be vulnerable and find the man for dreams. In the pod, she seeks a family-oriented, outgoing, and driven individual. Stacy needs someone who can keep up with her in the gym, as she is a former college athlete who teaches Pilates in her spare time. She is seriously turned off by one-uppers who don't have an awareness of other people. And Stacy does find that one, he'll have to be accepted by her family as gatherers for games or holidays or major events and get super competitive. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So she says that she's seriously turned off by one-uppers and people who, and she's seriously turned off by one-uppers who don't have an awareness for other people. Although her due will have to be accepted by her family as gatherings for gatherings over the holidays or major events to get super competitive. To me, that's a little contradictory to me. So you don't want one-uppers, but also too, you get super competitive in your family. So your family has to have somewhat of a one-upping mindset. She seems cool, but I think that'll be a contention point. Linda, listen. 32 years old, black woman, talent acquisition recruiter. It's family over everything for Linda, who comes from a big Nigerian family. Okay, we got Nigeria in the building on Love is Blind, who wants to find her perfect match sooner rather than later. Lydia admits that she's been overly picky in the past when it comes to love. Her mom more than agrees, wanting her daughter to look beyond the surface and connect on a deeper level. Or the words of Rafiki, look beyond what you see from the Lion King. Linda is finally ready to take the advice and find a respectful, loving, and family-oriented life partner. Linda says that expressing herself is a strong suit, but she can also shut down at times if she is not feeling heard. Ooh, that's going to be interesting in the pods, because those conversations are going to be very real, and so it'll be up to her to be able to be still in what she has to say, to understand that just because somebody is pausing or asking a probing question doesn't mean that she's not being heard. They just being still enough to listen to her. So Lydia should be interesting. Myra, a white woman, although she may be Latina because I do see some hips on her. 25 years old. She's a minister. Praise Jesus. I'm sorry. Y'all know that meme? Praise Jesus. I'm sorry. Is there anybody here that can stand here and testify? Before I go, I got one more thing to tell you. For all the black people, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. If you went to a full gospel Kojic church, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, prayers up. Myra is hoping to find her Ryan Reynolds lookalike who loves God as much as she does. As one of the first Hispanic ministers in the Southern Baptist Convention. See? But then again, it's in Houston, so Southern Baptist, Kojic, Episcopal, Church of God in Christ, Full Gospel Baptist Church, the whole shebang. I'm not surprised. Myra is extremely devoted to her faith. Now she's bringing it to the experiment to find a marriage-minded guy to spend the rest of her life with. But after her most recent relationship ending in heartbreak, Myra says she has to stop allowing things to be okay when they aren't going forward. Ooh, that is good that she recognizes that. Okay, now listen. Now listen. You know I'm telling the truth, P&G Ross. Now, at least I did not say that, don't use the baptism pool after hours. Okay, because just going to be real about it, Southern churches have some of the thickest women in the church. Thank God for the dance team. Praise him. Hallelujah. Mama said, Mama said, Mama kusa. Let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. So now she knows that her perfect match is the guy who ends up sacrificing comfortability to make it work. I'm sorry. Woo, Lord Jesus. See, gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you this: if you are at Southern Baptist Church and the pastor's daughter is thick, don't do it unless you're ready to step up. Okay. But although pastors' daughters and pastors' sons usually have another side of them because they don't like being tied down in the church, just like you don't like being tied down in the church. But listen. But you know what, Myra? She seems, I don't know, because I think Christianity, sorry on my lip, I think Christianity on reality TV can be a good thing or a bad thing. It's a good thing if you are open-minded, but you stand 10 toes down in who you are and you allow yourself to explore. But it's a bad thing where it's like, okay, I'm not going to have sex before marriage. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Men do not want to marry the Bible. They may want you to be as thick as a Bible. I need to stop. They do not want to marry a Bible, but they may want you as thick as a Bible. Okay? And they may want your tongue and, your throat and your mind to be, full of more intelligence, and scriptures and, hymns and thoughts of revelation. You understand? But you gotta thread the line though, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be a thumper in a relationship. If you thump your religion, there's nothing to love, because everything God do is going to be judged, and God is love. So we'll see how she works out. You know what I mean? So I just hope that Myra doesn't lead the group into I hope that she doesn't lead the group into Bible study, and hopefully the men can behave themselves, be like, Myra, question, do you believe when it says given and shall be given unto you, does that mean does that mean that you lay hands and you give, in terms of touch? Does it, can the scripture mean that? Because we're almost done with the women. Then I'm gonna drop the link if y'all want to come up. Taylor, who is a white woman, 26 years old, she's a teacher. 4 years of being single has left Taylor so tired of dating based off of looks, when all she's been seeking is a soul connection. In the pods, Taylor is laser focused on meeting her future husband, who says must be honest to a fault. Sometimes being honest to a fault can backfire. Let's see. And at least is slightly taller than her. Lying is her ultimate deal breaker, and past exes haven't been exactly faithful. And should she leave the experiment with a ring, she can't wait to deck the halls with her partner, because Christmas is her favorite time of year. So basically, she doesn't mind giving some toe at Christmas time, and she doesn't mind being a ho ho ho. I'm sorry. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. Say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Oh ho, the mistletoe somewhere you can see. Girl, put those curves away. You'll shoot somebody's eye out, kid. Okay, I'm gonna drop the link. Y'all give me a moment. Sorry, y'all give me a moment. I'm gonna drop the link. Give me a moment. Hang on 1 second, y'all. Hang on. I'm trying to get the link up for y'all. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. No, no. See. No, why do I gotta be on one leg in the corner though? Why do I have to be on one leg in the corner? I have done nothing wrong. I have done nothing wrong tonight. I've been on my best behavior. I have given y'all history lessons. I have showcased humanity in the midst of the strike, which I think honestly, the humanity of the strike has been showcased a lot more. But I went past what the blogs are saying about the strike and try to find the humanity of it. I talked about Jonathan Majors and innocent until proven guilty. Listen, I'm giving emotionality, care, and tact. Like, can I not? Can I sit down in the chair in the corner if I'm going to be on punishment? Like, can we work something out? Because, like, I don't feel like I did anything wrong. Like, listen. Listen. Hang on. I'm trying to get my laptop to. Oh, hang on. I think my laptop wants to work now. And by the way, thank you for recognizing. Thank you. I appreciate you. By the way, Sunjay Williams from Bring It. She has made $1 million in production at being a real estate agent. So shout out to Sunjay from Bring It. She is a real estate agent, and so she made $1 million in production. $1 million real estate agent. Come on now. Okay. You know what? Listen, those songs have been sung for how many years now? That's not me. Though it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. And Santa is on his sleigh. So listen. She might do some Mrs. Claus role. She might do some Mrs. Claus Rose play. She might be the sleigh, and Santa might be on her, going through the sky, and gifts dropping. If you understand what I mean. Let me stop. Hang on, y'all. I'm about to put the link in the chat. Oh, Lord, okay. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, there's the link there. Let me pin this link. Oh, my Lord Jesus. Okay, hang on. I'm trying to pin it. Doggone it. Oh, there we go. Wait. Hang on, y'all. Let me see something. Hang on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Hang on. What in the world? Hang on, PNT Ross, can you comment real quick so I can move up the comment? Oh, hang on. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get the comment to pin up, and it's not allowing me to pin it up for some odd reason. Y'all give me a moment. Don't give me a moment. But I hope you had a wonderful day today. I really do. I hope you had a wonderful day today. I did something a little bit different. I promoted it on all my social media channels, so I don't know if people aren't here because I over promoted it or what. But either way, I'm glad that people, did come through. And I feel like this is a good show. I really do. The thumbnail game is a little bit different because I, I, when I saw the Morris Chestnut video, I definitely wanted to add. I definitely want to add to it. So, I'm trying to get, viewership up. I'm trying to do things a little bit differently, and there will be trial and error, but as long as you guys are enjoying it, I'm enjoying it. That's what I care about. If I get big from this, wonderful. If I don't get big from it, hey, as long as I'm enjoying what I do, that's what should matter, because there's a 99.9% chance that you may not make it in anything that you do in life. So you should be grateful for being able to even do it. You know what I mean? So. All right, let's see. It should be doing it. All right, y'all. The link is pinned. If you want to come up, feel free. I'm sorry about that little catastrophe there, but I am here with all of you, about to get back to the men here of Love is Blind and see what's going on with the men of Love is Blind. Let's see here. All right, so we're about to go with the men of Love is Blind, everybody. Let's see. The men, Robert. Robert is a white man, 30 years old, and he is a special education teacher. Shout out to special education teachers. The good ones, that is, right? After two years of being single, Robert is done playing games, especially when it comes to family game night. Which he hopes to enjoy with his future wife someday. Timing and commitment issues have been the biggest roadblocks to finding the right person to fill his life with unconditional love. Robert is all about looking on the bright side through ups and downs, so someone who nitpicks when things are grand is an immediate turnoff. But honest, loyal, and loving person will immediately catch his attention in the pods, and if she has a good smile, provided if he ever gets to see it, it's game over. Sounds good to me. I think, here's the thing, right, about Love is Blind. I think the reason why the show works, besides the host that should not be hosting, is because at the end of the day, it really forces you to be like, okay, are you really about love, or are you about being right? Right. So I think, men have the right to have their standards, and I agree with him. I want somebody that can see the bright side. And if you nitpick when we're happy, I can't, because if you nitpick when we're happy, I don't know how you're going to be able to have a coping mechanism when we go through some real stuff, right? But that's just me, though. That's just me. Okay, so the next guy, Izzy. I don't know about him. He looks maybe Latino, I guess. Izzy is 31 years old. Sales. Izzy has been proactively searching for a forever type of vibe. Has gone on 2 to 3 dates a week for the past year and a half. Wow, 2 or 3 dates a week. But has yet to meet his perfect match, because often he's not on the same page emotionally with his romantic partners. Izzy's dream girl will be able to join him in the gym or on the beach for saying volleyball. So athletic women are on top of mind. And if she has blonde hair and beautiful colored eyes, it's a plus. Really? Okay. We gotta do the, okay. All blonde hair and beautiful colored eyes. Okay. But most importantly, Izzy hopes an open-minded communicator who can love him unconditionally is waiting for him in the pods. That's what's up. At the end of the day, don't be look, have your preference, but be open with the show because you never know who you're talking to on the other side of that pod. Chris. We don't know if everybody hates Chris, but we will find out. Hashtag media reference. Chris is 28 years old, project manager for commercial and retail development. Chris has a history of going for the wrong women, but he's looking to break his pattern by falling in love with his best friend in the pods. Bottling up emotions and communication issues have hampered past relationship with his longest one spanning 3 years. Being single, dating apps have left him frustrated as Chris only matches with women who seem to not be looking for the commitment he wants in a lifelong partnership. Honesty, selflessness, and humor are the traits that will grab his attention, and someone who wouldn't mind hopping on the back of his motorcycle. Okay, then, so he's a little bit of a rebel. So when he wants to do pedal to the metal, he wants somebody to be game for it. I can feel that. I think that Love Is Blind is really about the levels that you can tolerate for real. And Chris is a white man. Let's see here. This dude here, Efrain, I think Latino, looks like 27 software sales, not computer software, but software sales. Aaron might be a dating app pro, but he's tired of growing connection with women who are unable to hang out in person and talking to multiple people at one time. The experiment suits him well because he's much more comfortable diving into conversation than picking up girls in bars. Ephraim is a very attractive guy who's looking for an outgoing, funny, athletic woman who could join him on walks with his dog and swing by dinners with his family every Sunday. Okay, that's cool. Family dinner. I think that would depend on if the partner really likes that, because sometimes she may want Sunday to just be with you. So we'll see. While he admits his worst habit is he's thinking he's right a majority of the time, he's willing to be patient. He's willing to be understanding and patient for the right partner. Lord help. Lord help. Not a Love Is Blurry shake back on the show again. Lord help. That was a whole horrible situation. Or Ernesto. Hopefully this guy is not like Ernesto Cruz, who poisoned his partner, his singing partner, and took all the credit. I'm joking, Ernesto. I'm joking. 13 years old, supply chain manager. Ernesto typically falls for women based on looks, but he signed up for the experiment to keep the physical out and learn a person's mind first. After years of being single and dating casually, his sights are now firmly set on marriage, preferably with an intellectual woman who can hold a good conversation and appreciate his chill, lighthearted personality. But Ernesto is ready to connect with all types of women in the pods, as he can mesh with all backgrounds, just as long as his dates don't come up too clingy. Okay. You know what? I will give him credit for being honest. I think we all have a preference for looks, of course. Some of us outright, some of us, mentally. But I do agree with the two being too clingy, because at the end of the day, I want to know that you want me, but I also don't want to feel smothered. And that's a very difficult balance to do. Connor, 31, is also a geoscientist. Oh, we got two geoscientists when they get together. Maybe they might be doing digs together or digging into each other. A little hashtag excavation. Let me stop. Anyway, as a geoscientist, Connor is used to figure out what lies beneath the surface. So he might just be the perfect candidate for the Love Is Blind process. After years of putting his career above all else, he's ready to find the person to share his dreams and aspirations with, and making the most out of every moment they have together. But marriage is no joke for Connor, who plans to get down on one knee only once in his life. Smart, independent, and preferably bilingual women who love the outdoors will catch Connor's attention. Bonus points if she can hold a tune. Connor's family is very music oriented and carols for Christmas area. Oh, wait a minute, Connor and Taylor. Connor and Taylor are gonna have a lot in common. Da 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 da. Christmas, Christmas time is here. Time for joy and time for cheer. Me, I wonder hula hoop. We can hardly stand the wait, but Christmas don't be late. Connor, God bless you, brother. No, I appreciate that. And you know what? Shout out to you for having the mindset of wanting to get down on your knees one time in life for the right person. I think, at the end of the day, not every relationship works out, but to have that mindset of like, I want to do it right the first time. Shout out to you for having that mindset. Enoch, 27, a financial advisor, a black man here. Enoch has enjoyed being in his single era for the last 5 years, but he doesn't have trouble when it comes to attracting women, but he struggled with making a connection beyond the physical. So he's hoping to deep dive in the pods with a loyal, passionate, confident person who can match his energy. Traveling around the country for his various jobs and sports made it difficult to sustain a long-term connection, but now he's settled back into Houston and is ready to commit to a real relationship. Arnott loves spending time in the kitchen, so whoever he ends up will get to enjoy his cooking skills and invite to his Taco Tuesday dinner. So that's what's up. He seems cool. And not to mention too, it's interesting because you think about relationship versus career and how many people have put a relationship before a career, right? And you can't blame somebody for putting their career above love, because guess what? Maybe they've been open, but they just haven't found the right one legitimately. Or maybe they've been hurt in the past and they realize that, hey, I just need to put energy into myself. So I try to give people grace for that. Jared, 34 years old, university director. Ladies who can appreciate dad joke humor and a quirky personality will be immediately gravitated towards Jared. He has a history of going above and beyond to make his relationship work, but his past partner just haven't put in the same effort. Now he's looking for a more balanced connection with a woman who loves him just as much as he loves her, but he can be done compromising when he should not. If his future spouse can look past of his lack of detail and cleaning, they'll find a guy who wants to truly connect with someone and live life of mutual respect and compromise. I think that's going to depend on lack of detail and cleaning. Does that mean like in the home or being clean in communication? Like, what is that? Because women love a clean house. They do. So we'll see on that for sure. Another Jared. So we got Jared and Jared. 32 years old, white guy. He's a firefighter. Shout out to him for his service. Jared might pose in his local fireman calendars, but when it comes to dating, he needs some help coming out of his shell. In the past, Jared did not get in depth with relationships. That was like the genuine connection. The dating scene in Houston is a bit superficial for his taste. Oh my! As he says, apps and meeting women at bars aren't geared toward a long-term commitment. I've felt that for a while too, but then again, you don't know unless you go out. And that's how you meet people. You know what I mean? It's a fun environment. Get to kind of see their fun side. And then that's up to you to take the connection. But I do get what he's saying. Jared knows that if he can find a woman in the posse who will be patient, he would be able to let down his walls and showcase his big heart, which he counts as one of his best traits. Josh, 32 years old and a sales representative. Josh looks like he's a white man. Josh has been waiting for an opportunity like Love is Blind because all he's ever wanted in life is a wife and a family. Past relationships with poor communication has left him feeling particularly unlucky in love, so he's taken the past year and a half to understand himself better. After past heartbreak, building trust is of paramount importance for Josh, whose best quality is being open and honest. You know what? Shout out to him and shout out to these men for really honing in on what they don't like, right? Poor communication, not being committed, being negative. Like, it's important for guys to have standards too, not just the women. So I think Josh will be fine. Let's see here. I think we're almost done with the men here. Right now we are on Carter. 30 years old. He is in construction. Maybe he might be building some things or things, you understand? Anyway, 30 years old construction. As a self-described hopeless romantic, Carter says he's the perfect combination of naive and spontaneous to get the most out of the experiment. And he's never been more ready for a lifetime commitment, admitting that in past relationships he still has some growing up to do. But now he's fully down into the process, and he needs his partner to do the same. His biggest pet peeve is bad cell phone etiquette. He hopes to find a woman who appreciates his old-fashioned, open-minded attitude and can join him on the river fishing with friends. I think that's a good overall thing. Bad cell phone etiquette, I agree. Like, at the end of the day, if me and you are on a date, me and a woman are on a date, hello, I'm here, you're here, we're here, right? So, like, come on. Fishing's a good time. It is. Let's see. Justice, 28 years old, personal trainer. Stay thirsty because Justice best habit is drinking water. Okay, if that's not enough, he's also a good listener who can be supportive and romantic on occasion. Here's how that occasion pans out. For the past few years, Justice been has been putting dating on the back burner and prioritized his career. But now he's ready to place love above everything else in life. Ambition is the most important trait for him looking into a partner, as his future wife must have big dreams of her own, and with his schedule, he can't be expected to drop important things for dating all the time. He can't be expected to just drop important things for dating all the time. Well, that's what we call time management. That's what we call communicating with your partner of how y'all perform that. So I think that's a little bit of a cheap shot with Justice, but we'll see. And then last two here. Both of them are black men. Milton, 25 years old, petroleum engineer. Okay, Milton might be the youngest guy in the pods, but he believes he's mature enough to start looking for his future wife. Milton is drawn to women who are older than he is, but he doesn't have a specific type when dating. His biggest turnoff is people with no ambition, as Milton has been laser focused with his education and career for the past few years. And now that he's gone back onto the dating scene, he's hoping not to repeat mistakes from past relationships, as he has a tendency to self-sabotage and never let people inside. You know what? Shout out to Milton for that. Because I have that same trait. I feel like I self-sabotage in the fact that sometimes I go too hard where I don't allow things to breathe and to let things be what they need to be, but also never let people inside. You know, when you have been hurt, you protect your heart. And he may be for the preacher. That's true. He may just be for the preacher. That is very, very true. And I appreciate this because guess what? We all have a wall up or walls up. And sometimes those walls could be up for past trauma. That could be for communication. That could be for a multitude of things. But here's the thing. If you have a closed fist, nothing can come to you and you can't give anything. So I'm proud of him for recognizing that. But yeah, you absolutely make time for what's important. Oh, making time for what's important. You're talking about justice. Yes, justice has to make time for what's important. You know what I mean? So let's see here. And I think this might be the last. Yep, this is the last one. Uche. Uche is 34 years old, an entrepreneur. As a lawyer, Uche is used to let his analytical mindset take over, but in the pause, he knows that he will have to lead with his heart. After being single for 2 years, he is ready to switch up his dating habits, especially when it comes to putting an emphasis on physical appearance. Instead, Uche is looking to connect with an ambitious woman with good sense of humor who will join him to create a us against the world way of life. You know, I can agree with that. You know what I mean? And I really am proud of all these people. You know, anytime someone goes on any reality show, to give of yourself, to be that open to what love is for you, credit to you, because it takes a certain vulnerability to do that. So what do I think of the cast overall? I think there are some very dynamic characters. I think that there are going to be some traits really tested. And do I think love is blind? I think, yeah, honestly. You don't know what love is until you've given it enough of an investment to be able to see that love come to fruition. So that's my take on it. That's my take on it. I think we went through everything. I think we went through the Jonathan Majors, his trial, of course. We went through the strike, talking about um, how it's knocked out $5 billion to California's economy, and also to how with the strikes that people are living in their cars and with their families. We talked about, a brand new show called Rebuilding Black Wall Street with Morris Chestnut on OWN. That's premiering September 29th at 9/8 Central, only on OWN. So shout out to that. And, also too, we talked about Martha's Vineyard and learned that Martha's Vineyard is a home base for wealthy Black families or African Americans with old money. So we covered a lot tonight. We really, really did. I'll be real with y'all. I don't know if I did pick the right time to go live, or maybe if I over promoted. I say that because at the end of the day, I say that at the end of the day because I made an update with the Morse Chestnut thing. But either way, I will say this: I am very proud. I am very proud of the fact that with this show of Virtual Tour Live, we do not do the same thing over here. We will cover the stories that people are talking about, but we will also cover the stories that you may not know. And I think within YouTube, I think sometimes YouTube and life can be an echo chamber a little too damn much. And we need to be able to understand that there is more to us than just what we see, right? Not everybody is caring about Real Housewives of Atlanta, for real. Not everybody's caring about Love and Marriage Huntsville, for real. There are people that are trying to decide groceries or a roof over their head if they have kids. Some people are trying to figure out how to find their peace when they don't have a particular family member in their life anymore. Some people are trying to get their health together so they can be around longer. So there are bigger issues ahead, right? So I hope that what I try to do on this channel is I try to give something different to y'all that is not of the typical variety, and that there is quality within the content that I'm producing. You know what I mean? So I hope you guys feel that for sure. I'm going to get the greatday.com website up and the daily motivator, and then I think we'll be out of here because I know that right now it's like what? Let me see. It's like 7:58, so it's almost 8 o'clock. And I know that there could be an influx of people at 8 o'clock, but y'all, listen, I am learning on YouTube. Do your show and be done. People will love you, value, and respect you for that, because you don't want to be on for 3 hours and it's just one person. So I did my assignment, I turned it in, and I executed. I hope I did well. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. This is from greatday.com. If you want to achieve excellence, you can get there today. As of this second, quit doing less than excellent work. Oh, I'm going to say that louder for the people in the back. If you want to achieve excellence, you can get there today. As of this second, quit doing less than excellent work. What a word, what a word, what a word. So it's time for the Daily Motivator for today, Wednesday, September 6th, 2023. Awaken to experience. Awaken to the wondrous nature of your experience of right now. Awaken to the wondrous nature of your experience of right now. Let yourself be. Let life be. Let it all be as magnificent as it is. Goals and specific objectives are good, usual, and satisfying to reach, but there is more to life than knowing what you want and achieving it. Turn yourself toward the full experience of what is already. Let go for a while of needs, wants, desires, plans, and strategies, and sink into the lush, enveloping bliss of existence. Reacquaint yourself with the part of you where all is well and will ever be. Linger for a time as you energize and refresh your spirit. Thank you, P&G Ross. I appreciate that. Feel not merely what you or anyone else expects you to feel. Feel the authentic, uncorrupted feeling of you here and now. Allow yourself to be swept up for a while by the beauty of pure experience. Then carry you the new strength you gain as you move on through your life. Ralph Molson. Wow, wow, wow. I always love ending these virtual tour lives with these because at the end of the day, it gives you some food for thought, right? What I've gotten from this is in order to experience anything, you have to awaken your mindset and your thoughts. And your thoughts have to be congruent with how you move, right? And Steve Harvey said something I'll never forget. He said, in order for you to enjoy everything of your life, you have to wake up in the morning to do it. I didn't really get what that meant because I'm like, okay, I'm single. I go to work. I come home. Got my family, some friends. That's it. But what he was saying was, in order to do any of that, whether you're a celebrity or an everyday, regular person, you have to wake up to experience that. So have joy in awakening to experience all of your life that it is. Number 2, with the reacquaint yourself with that part of you where all is well and will ever be. I think sometimes we quit on different levels of our soul. Maybe you're an entrepreneur and you put the idea away for a good while. Maybe that you are in a marriage and it's been 4 years, 5 years, and you want to have a family, and you've been putting that fear off because, like Courtney in Love and Marriage Huntsville, maybe you didn't have a parent growing up. So reacquaint yourself with the different levels of who you are as a person. Recognize those levels are in you because you have the desire to conquer those levels, and those levels matter to you. And finally, at the end of the day, no matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, no matter how much it will take for you to get to whatever joy you want in your life, you're here to experience it. You're here to experience it. I know that seems small. I know with vid ramping back up, the reports are out there. I'm not making that up. You just type in vid on Google and you'll find out the information. I even covered it here on the channel before it started to ramp up. But anyway, even though vid is coming back, even though you may not be in a relationship, even though you may not have kids, even though you may not have your job, your dream job, recognize that you're still here, because there's a lot of people that did not wake up this morning. There's some people that as soon as they go to sleep, they might not wake up. There's somebody out there right now, probably downtown or somewhere where they're not supposed to be, and something is about to happen. I'm not wishing that. But there are other circumstances in this world that are happening right now, and you're not in that circumstance. And you are awakened enough to experience not being in those circumstances. What a blessing that is. What a blessing that is. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody who came through. PN2 Ross, Phyllis Crawford, shout out to you. Feel well, Queen, and get better. Let's see here. Nikki New, shout out to you. May, welcome to you as well. Linda Gamble, of course. And everybody who came through or who wanted to come through. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, it was a low stream tonight, but as I look, I think the last time I looked at the likes, I think it was about 15 likes. So recognize this. Just because it's low viewership live doesn't mean that what you did not matter. Okay? Because most of the things that we do in life are probably not going to matter. But I promise you this, at the beginning, middle, end of the day, all that you do will always matter in the end if you give a damn about it in the beginning. You work in the middle and you have the intentionality of distributing that at the end of the work that you've done. So with that being said, it's time for the best outro on YouTube. Thank you all so much for being here. I see a second person coming in. Glad to have you here. I was just about to wrap up here. We've been here for 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 7 seconds. But I appreciate you being here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. It's time for the best outro on YouTube. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say you want more special, because you are always born a blessing. And trust, you may not be where you want to be, but by the end of it, you'll be where you need to be. Do what you've been chosen to do. Why is one thing to call yourself? It's another thing to be chosen. One love, much love, all love. I have spent time with you. You have spent time with me. Hopefully by spending time together, we'll rise up to be great together. And always remember, whether you're doing radio, television, YouTube, living your best life, or just allowing yourself to know that at the end of the day, history can be hurtful, but history can also be helpful. Make sure the replay is not just worth for you to watch it, not just worth for you to listen to it, but for you want to experience it again. And like I've said to many of my friends I haven't seen in a long time, whatever obstacles you have overcome, whatever successes you've achieved, I am very proud of you. You matter, you are loved, and damn it, you deserve to be here. Because there is nobody in this world that can do what you do but you. I love you, I value, I embrace you. I feel the love, and I send it all back to you. Y'all have a wonderful night. I will see you guys again soon. Bye, everybody.